Right, last video for this chapter. So communication and design of signals evolve. So do animals communicate? Yes or no? What do you think? Look at this. What does that look like to you? Does it look happy? I would say it looks angry, defensive, right? So there are communication signals among animals. It could be physical, it could be audible, right, with sound. It could be chemical. Imagine if you walk into your kitchen and there's an ant in the kitchen, just one, right? You're like, oh no, because before you know it, there could be tons of ants. They communicate through chemicals, right? So let's take a look. Animal communication and language abilities evolve. So this idea of populations changing over time and this idea of communication is so chemical communication. Yes, animals definitely do that. Pheromones released by one individual detected by another using antennae can trigger behavioral responses. So the ants, the idea of the ants, usually ants, work together, right? And they're scouts that go out looking for food. If they find it, right, they're releasing chemicals, and then that's telling everybody else where the food is. And then all of a sudden you have 100 ants in your kitchen. Communication, an action or signal on the part of one organism that alters the behavior of another. What type of animal behavior require communication? What types of communications do animals use? Okay. So, chemical, acoustical. So here's this lion roaring. You can think of hyenas. You can think of frogs. You can think of crickets. I mean, the list goes on and on, okay? Auditory communication. Sounds such as the roar of a lion are a common method of triggering behavioral responses. Visual, right? So this is a puffer fish, right? And it's visually trying to make itself look bigger, right? It's alarmed. It's trying to protect itself. Organisms can convey information such as threat or receptivity with visual displays. Here's a balloon fish, it's a pufferfish, puffs up its body in response to a predator. So trying to make itself look bigger, trying to make itself harder to eat. Dances. I'm going to try to find a video of this. Really neat. Bees do a little dance. Honeybee waggle dance. What is the language? Right? It's what kind of, so when they do that dance, what's their language? Right? Is it chemical? Is it auditory? Or is it visual? Right? So a bee can go find flowers, find nectar, come back, and it does a little dance to tell the other bees where to go. What? Yeah. How is language identified? Honeybees, American Sign Language taught to orangutans. I don't know if you guys have heard of Coco the ape, and Coco learned sign language, right? So that's a form of communication. So here, complex forms of animal communication. So waggle dance, signing, children listening to a teacher. So there's different ways to communicate. Methods of communication, chemical, acoustic, visual, have evolved among animal species, enabling them to convey information about their condition. These abilities influence fitness and evolution of almost all other behaviors because, if they're cooperating, if there's danger, if there's food, and we're communicating those signals, that's going to help with survival, okay? So we would argue that that's a behavioral mechanism, and evolution has an influence over that. Honest signals reduce deception, so conveying accurate information. For example, think of frogs, okay? They're trying to attract a mate. They're making calls. Well, guess what? Their call is going to say, is it a big frog? Is it a small frog? Is it a mature frog or an immature frog? It says the volume of a male natterjack's toad's call affects females' mating decisions. Loud calls can only be made by large males. Smaller males can't fake it. So it is an honest signal carrying accurate information. So usually in the animal world, right, we have honest signals. Even with humans, right? Humans can lie. Yeah, they can lie with words. But usually our body language says a lot, like I'm not mad. You're like, yeah, you are. Or someone's breathing can get, if they're scared or if they're angry, their breathing can go faster, deeper. There are so many visual cues that we communicate with one another. Yeah, and animals do that too. So, honest signals, right? Yeah. Deception evolves, right? So, organism phenotype, so it can evolve. Okay, so this is if we were in class. All right, you guys, we are done with this chapter. I think this chapter is super fun. In lab, we're going to have some videos that we're going to watch. I am going to have a quiz just like before. I'm also going to have a discussion that I want you guys to do, so be sure to do that. And then we have our lab, and again, it's going to be online. I hope you guys are well. All right, another week. Bye.